Hi guys,
Hello people.
I'm Milena,
I'm Lola.
and we're watching the last episode of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah, we have decided that we will film no review after this.
And we have filmed no review after the previous one, but you know that. You
Yeah.
already seen it.
I mean, you will suffer nothing because, we will post a review immediately after this episode, but that just review
Because we're traveling
is
now.
gonna be filmed after we come back.
After we compose our thoughts, feelings, after we are able to make a review that is worthy of the show, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want it to be fitting, and I can't do it after we finish. I am so emotionally drained. There's gonna be no tears from now on. There is nothing left in me to fucking cry.
Like you said, it's really draining. Honestly, I can't wait to see this episode. I'm the happiest person in the world because this episode is not about battle.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier about it. That's all I asked for, I think, since the beginning of this show. That it just can't be about... that I don't want L to get his body in the last second. Because the last episode felt like a last episode of any show. Meaning, I think 99% of the shows will put that episode as the last one.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get more. We're gonna find out what happens with this country and with all our characters.
It's a fitting end that at the end we get what we asked for, that no other show would give it to us. Because this show has constantly just done that. And everything that we have ever wanted, they just gave it to us in a much better way.
And that's what I want to say. Every time when we ask for something, we get it much better. We don't get what we want, we got better.
Yeah. And you don't even fucking know it's gonna be better. You don't know that it's gonna be better, but it is. And again, I could talk about what happened in the previous episode, but I'm gonna start crying. So I don't want to. I do not want to, and we will talk about that later.
I just want this episode to give me pure happiness and nothing more, because I'm so tired and I need that.
I know, legitimately, there's no moisture in my fucking skin. I have been trying to replenish. Nothing is happening. However, this final episode goes, it doesn't matter, because this show is just going into my top 5 favorite shows of all time, and it's gonna stay there. Nothing is gonna fucking move it ever. And it has been truly one of the best things that I have ever watched, and I couldn't be happier that we had this for as short a time as we did.
It's not that short,
but it couldn't have been better. I couldn't have asked for anything more.
Yeah.
And so this is the last one.
The last episode.
It's called Journey's End.
The last time seeing our boys and our girls and all of them. I'm gonna be probably a bit heartbroken for Roy. I don't know what's gonna happen there. That's the only part that I don't like. So let's see how that whole thing turns out, you know.
Oh, let's go, people, one more time. God, I'm gonna die. I mean, I'm not. There's nothing in me. There's nothing fucking in me.
I feel happiness at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
There is a part of me that really does feel happiness.
Well, how could you not? How could you not after Ed fucking smiled?
We can always rewatch this show, you know. I think every show. I honestly wanted to start watching it 2 days ago.
Oh, with your brother?
No, with Melissa. I wanted to play it, and I would just we were too tired to watch it. But I think watching every show is again is an experience of its own.
Yeah.
So honestly,
especially because when you know what it's all about, then you can pick up things that I'm sure we have missed fucking millions.
Yeah, and I watched Avatar as soon as it finished, and I plan to watch this pretty soon to relive the experience.
Would you skip episode 4?
Wow.
Isn't it incredible?
If I would have watched it alone, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm definitely not watching it alone, I would not skip episode 4.
But do you not think it's so ridiculous and full circle that in the last episode he mentions her again?
Yeah, in the one.
What is alchemy?
Yeah.
I couldn't even say that little girl.
Yeah.
It's what does it even matter?
True.
What a fucking show. I have no words. So let's play it for one last time, people. Okay, here we go.
Can you tell me which room Colonel Roy Mustang is in?
Well,
That's so sad to me.
Can I ask what your relation to the patient is?
I'm his private practice doctor.
I hope your relationship with your son is good. That was like one of the most emotional parts.
Hey there, young lady.
Well, this is a nice surprise. And who is this you brought with you?
That's a bit of a long story, but if you need to know, he's kind of my secret weapon. So how's he doing?
Are we gonna bring
If this
somehow?
whole thing got him down?
Can we somehow
The
do
farming
that?
method that's used in the Ishvalan region. They mainly double crop. No, that's close.
I can't.
Which two crops are the Ishvalans known for cultivating? Wheat and cotton. That's correct. Not a bad guess.
He's hoping to make amends with Ishval. He wants to make things right before becoming the Führer.
Well, ambitious.
How long have you been in here, Dr. Knox?
Not long. How are you adjusting?
Could have put them in the same bed. You didn't have to separate them.
Can't get any rest.
Oh, I meant those eyes of yours, Roy. How are they?
I envisioned a better future. And this is the price I had to pay for it.
And are you okay with that?
I won't let it stop me from moving forward either.
So tell me something. You're gonna aid in the restructure of Ishval?
The Ishvalan War of Extermination. That's where everything went wrong.
You're right there.
It's time to correct it. I'm calling off the military occupation, and then I'll return their holy land to the Ishvalans left living in the slums.
I can't watch it,
There's
honestly.
still a lot to be done.
They'll be dead now if it weren't for Scar and the Ishvalans. It's the very least we can do to repay them.
I can't.
We know that this won't erase our sins, but it's not too late to fix things.
This room just reeks of optimism. Hey, Dr. Marco, listen to this. They're already one step ahead of you in here.
Marco? Dr. Marco's here?
I've brought a philosopher's stone with me. I believe that it might be able to return your eyesight. This stone here. I created this stone by sacrificing the lives of many Ishvalans. It might be presumptuous of me to ask this, but if your intentions are to help their relatives, I have no right to speak for those whose lives I've taken. So I'm asking this as a personal request. Let me heal you with this stone so you can restore Ishval.
I know some people who might not like this. Especially Fullmetal. But I will accept your offer. And I'll devote my life to seeing Ishval restored. But first things first. There's someone else who needs that stone even more than I do. You can heal me after you heal him.
Scar? No, Scar. Oh, I thought the guy, one of his people legs.
From our hearts to your home, you've reached the Havoc General Store. Hey, Breda, what's up?
Why did you save me?
The only interest I had in saving you was for your alchemistry. But plans do change. Colonel Mustangs requested Major Miles to assist him in dealing with Ishvalan affairs.
So, I thought you might be able to assist me. As a true Ishvalan, will you help me spread the teachings of Ishvalan? And this is our chance. We can rescue our people. Is this why I was saved from death? Have you given me this responsibility as my reason to continue living, brother? I accept. I'll join you. From now on, I'll follow you wherever you see fit.
All right, Miles, you can take it from here. Scar, why don't you tell us your real name?
I've died twice now. I'm neither of the people I once was. I don't need a name. Call me anything.
Fair enough. You take care, Ishvalan.
This show is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, you know? The fucking ridiculous.
Are you okay?
I didn't realize my muscles had atrophied so much on the other side. We better get moving then.
Yep.
So, brother, how's the leg?
Well, I haven't maintained it in a while, you know?
I'm joking away too.
I wonder how Ling is doing. Do you think they made it back to shape?
I'm sure they're back by now.
Hope May's okay.
I'm joking.
You've got nothing to worry about. She's in trustworthy hands.
May,
Hello, Fonz.
are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Princess China, come on. Quit looking at me like you want to kill me, alright? You're about as stupid as I am, getting mixed up with this country's problems. And you didn't even end up with the Philosopher's Stone.
Look at her.
You know what this means. My clan won. As far as your clan goes, the Yao family will protect yours at all costs. I accepted a homunculus as a friend now, didn't I? If I did that, then I can accept the Changs, and all of the other families too.
Okay.
Oh, careful with the tears there.
Panda's crying.
Oh my god, me! I literally fucking choked nearly.
I guess you rubbed off on me after all. See you later. Yeah, count on it. You got pretty close with a certain princess. You aiming to be the future Princess Shing?
Come on, she is a nice girl, though. Forget about that. What about you and Winry?
Let's go! Call him out!
Dad, we're home, boy.
Wake up, bro! Wake up! Get the fuck out of the house and hug them.
Oh my god, I can't. Give her earrings back!
Oh my god.
Thanks.
Good to be back.
Oh.
You're an idiot. My boy.
Two what?
Two? How many? How many?
I just said two.
How many?
Two what? Fucking idiot.
You look so older.
I think it might be 2 years.
Or 3 years older.
Brother, what's taking so long?
These damn chores are testing the limits of my courtesy. Winry treats
Oh.
me like I'm her personal slave. And after everything
Winry said she's making tea to go with the apple pie she's making.
Oh, okay.
Wow. It's so vast.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about something lately.
me too. And I bet we're thinking the same thing.
How's work been lately?
Miss Bradley.
Exhausting. There's a new problem every
I
day. and they're sending
cannot.
me to an early grave. I might be able to remain the Führer for some time with the two of them by my side.
It's true.
Grateful to have them. Just needs a man of experience.
Oh, does it? That sounds a bit like something my late husband might have said. I never met a man more devoted to his work.
I remember. I doubt that I can compare to his devotion to our country.
Can we help it?
The poor little thing. We'll have Grams call a veterinarian right away.
Please do. They can fix it, can't they?
It'll be fine, honey.
He has certainly grown up to be a kind boy.
Yes. Everyone was against me raising him, but he's such a wonderful boy.
Homunculi and humans. Is it truly possible for us to live in peace with one another?
So is Edward bummed out that he's stuck with his metal leg?
He's okay with it. He said that it serves as a nice reminder to keep him in line for the future. And besides, he thinks that Winry would get depressed if she had nothing to lose.
Oh, come on. Now that's just silly. It's nice to see you. I'm so happy you're normal again. And I know he's happy for you.
Look how pretty.
We've been treated so well. So many people have cared for both of us. And now, we feel like it's our turn to repay the happiness that's been given to us.
Isn't that like what the alchemists believe? Equivalent exchange?
No, it's equivalent if you take 10 and then you give 10 back. But if you take 10 and then you add something of yourself, you return 11. It's not much, but it's an all-new principle that we're trying to establish. We're still haunted by the memory of a little girl that we once knew. We weren't able to save her, and we will never forget that.
What a transition!
Hey, I'll have plenty of food. Dig it up.
Thanks.
You ready?
I'm
What?
off to shape. May's gonna teach me everything there is to know about Alchemist, but I'm not stopping there. I'm gonna travel all over the East and study everything I can about their cultures. I want to see all I can and learn all I can and meet new people. So you guys, you're really coming along?
Hell yes, we're coming. Good things are bound to happen if we stick with you. That's based on our animal instincts. The truth is, we're gonna find a way to get our original bodies back. You're the one who told us that we should never give up. You said to act for ourselves and not leave it to others. So your brother isn't going with you?
No, I'm going to take the East. My brother's heading west to learn from that region. And if we then combine the knowledge from East and West, we might be able to prevent the tragedy that befell Milena from happening again. But that's not all. We've got more in mind. It's not just for research. It's an enormous world, and we want to see it all.
Make sure to oil it every day. Are you even listening?
An idiot. What an idiot.
Huh? There's your train.
Come on, boy!
Well, whenever that does happen, just call me to make an appointment.
Sure. An appointment?
What's wrong?
Listen, Winry.
Well, what? Just come out and say it.
That's always an idiot.
Equivalent exchange! I'll give half of my life to you if you give half of yours to me!
Come on. You have to treat everything like alchemy? The whole equivalent exchange thing is just nonsense.
What'd you say?
Ugh, it's nonsense. How about I just give you my whole life? Not all of it. 90? Maybe 80%? 70. That's not enough. But 85? Yeah, 85 is a good number. What? Shut up!
You are so incredible! You knocked equivalent exchange flat on its butt in just a few words.
And what's that mean? Are you making fun of me?
Not at all. Thanks for cheering me up. I'll miss you. Goodbye. For now.
Come home soon.
This is a fucking proposal if I ever heard one. Oh my god, what fucking idiots. Oh my god.
Why can't those boys just settle down for a while? It's good for them to keep moving.
Look how many
Then you just
earrings.
sit around doing nothing or boring.
There's no such thing as a painless lesson. Sacrifices are necessary. You can't gain anything without losing something first. If you can endure that pain and walk away from it, you'll find that you now have a heart strong enough to overcome any obstacle. Yeah, Full Metal.
Why does it have to end? Wait, I can see through the tears. Stop. Oh. What is that mustache? I was like wondering. That's Vin Means ending? Yeah. I was like wondering, that's Ed and that's little Winry, but where's little L? And I'm like, wait, who's holding you? Who's holding you? And then I went back. Smiling, not crying. Smiling, not crying, and May is there. I want to see that picture again. Me too. I want to see that picture again as well. Okay. Oh, I will never recover from the show. See, people, this is what I always want. Every final episode of every show to be just like a love letter to the characters and to me. And like I couldn't see half of it through the tears, but like I'm gonna rewatch it and then I'm gonna see it. Wow, I can now say I've cried for like 4 hours straight. This was just beautiful. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I don't know, I will never recover. No words. That's why we're not filming a review. Hopefully we're gonna have more words the next time you see us. Because this show deserves it. And we've been filming for like 6 hours. And fucking crying. Like five, maybe, let's say 5 maybe hours. If we've been filming and I was crying, maybe I had more in me. But I am exhausted. We'll see you very soon. We'll see you immediately after. Bye. Hello. Hi. It's us, back again. 20 days later. For you like a second. There's just a second in between when you saw us and when you see us now. Exactly. But we're here. But it's been 3 weeks for us. Yeah. And a lot of things has changed in our lives. I'm joking. It's like, where the fuck are you going? What has happened? We are here to talk about the episodes that we could not talk about. This beautiful show. Oh, yeah. This perfect show. We just skimmed through the last two episodes. So like again I feel like I'm on the verge of tears because it was just the most amazing way to finish off a show. Like we watched those last 5 episodes like so close together. So, I even feel like 10. Honestly, yeah, I feel like we watched 10 episodes in like 3 days maybe. Yeah, literally like that. Like only like 5, let's say, in 2 days or 1 day. No, we watched 5 episodes in 1 day, but like basically last 10 episodes in few days. Yeah. So we watched all of it really, together, like that one last day. Yeah, that was all, and we watched it all sort of nearly in one go. Not really, but sort of. And so like it all feels very much like the finale. I legitimately couldn't have asked for anything better. And like I knew they were gonna give it to me. I really knew they were gonna give me the best possible storyline, and still I did not think that they actually would give me a last episode that is just about them. Like I didn't really think that they're gonna finish off everything they needed to finish off storyline wise in the 63rd episode, and then the 64th episode was just gonna be like a love letter to everyone. Honestly, I think we talked about that. Yeah, you said it. Of that day or last few episodes or something like that. How that's the thing that we wish the most every show would do. Yeah. Because depends on the show. Like it's not every show the same. Yeah. But especially the ones who are very concentrated in the characters and their development. Yeah. I always wish they would. There are many perfect finales that include action, and that's fine, and I have nothing against that. But especially with this show that it's 20 minutes long. Yeah. And if you put action in last 20 minutes, like you're not gonna have enough time to say goodbye to characters. Yeah. So I am very grateful that they decided to do it this way, where they would basically finish the whole storyline in the beginning of 43rd episode, and
43rd
63rd episode, and the second half of the episode dealt with Ed taking Al's body back, Hohenheim dying, and stuff like that, which is also not like action, like not like
the plot didn't
the
necessarily
plot.
progress.
That's just us saying goodbye to Hohenheim and us finally having watching Al in his body and him experiencing warm air. And stuff like that. That's all that already happened in the 63rd episode. And we had the whole 64th that was really just love letter to all the characters. I think that's just beautiful, honestly.
I mean, they couldn't have given you a better show. Really, truly, this is a once in a lifetime show. I'm not gonna compare anything that we watch in the future to this, because it's a very high task. And I don't think shows should be held to this high of a standard. But this was just special. This is like, lighting in a bottle.
Especially because it had many episodes. It had 64 episodes. Which is not too much for an anime, considering they sometimes have thousands.
I feel like just like one. Actually, I feel like Naruto has a lot, but I don't know if it's 1,000.
Many have, 200. I don't know how many Dragon Ball.
Oh, actually, Dragon Ball has a lot. Sure.
Yeah, I think many animes have a lot of episodes. But like this, like 64 is a good number, and they kept it perfect since episode 1. Which is ridiculous. Like that's the rarity with the show, that I honestly don't think it had a mediocre episode. Like all of them were 9 out of 10 at least.
Like at fucking least.
Ridiculous, honestly.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is an impossible standard to hold any shows to. Like, it's ridiculous to compare, and I don't think anyone's gonna compare. And I read a comment being like, I mean, a lot of people actually, even before we started the show, even when we started it, whenever, a lot of people said, like, after watching Fullmetal, like, they tried finding other shows that were that for them, and like they never did find it. And like, I don't know how you would. Honestly, I think this comes like,
honestly, nor do I need it.
No.
Like I don't need another Fullmetal. I can just rewatch this.
Exactly. And this show has been completely perfect. And like, it goes into my top 5 of all time, easy. Just like so easy. Like, it deserves its place up there, because it was just so full of love, and so full of hope, and so full of just the most amazing characters, and so many of them. Like there was just so many characters, and I cared for every single one. Like that really doesn't happen that often. And
even the antagonists at the end had their like sins, let's say. At the end had their perfect endings and great moments.
We really felt for them a lot.
Which is amazing, honestly.
So like, from start to finish, an amazing show, and I feel like we said it in every episode. So like, let's say it again one last time, that it was just the most perfect. As perfect as you can possibly get. Like, this is it. Like, this was it. So we couldn't speak in the last 2 episodes for obvious reasons. Like, I don't know, I edited episode 63 a couple of days ago. I just continuously cried. Like, I was trying to edit us crying, and I don't even see what the fuck is happening on screen because I'm crying. And when we were watching, I'm barely seeing what's happening on screen because I'm crying there. So like, that was great. And even now, when we're just skimming through, like, we need to move fast through this episode, because like, I'm about to start crying again.
But we didn't. We literally watched
I couldn't skip things. I literally couldn't skip things. I was like, all of this is important. Every fucking line in here is so important that like, how am I supposed to skip any of this here? We're gonna talk about those last 2 episodes because there was no review there to give you.
So let's start from the beginning of episode 63. Like I said, every sin had their last moments.
And we did as well.
I would say I don't know if this is my favorite. If Greed was my favorite scene, I would say he was. And he had a great last scene as well. I mean, he had to die. We know that like all of the scenes are
there's
gonna
no way
die.
Kind of around it.
But his death might have hurted me the most. Yeah.
But it was so incredibly done because, like, in the past, however many episodes, like, we have seen how Greed, like, he kept saying how he wants that power, how he wants to rule and whatever. And then Link told him, like, it's not that you want to rule, is that you want the friendship and the companionship and people caring about you. Like, that's what you crave. Like, that's why you had the people that you had around you.
He always had a crew, and he somehow always ended up with the people around him that he thought he owned.
Yeah.
He told himself that he owned them, you know?
Yeah.
But all he cared for is that they are there.
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah. And he wanted that, like, care from other people. And so, like, when the father was, like, trying to get a Philosopher's Stone, he went towards Greed, because, like, Greed has the Philosopher's Stone. And Greed was being kind of sucked out of the body, and Ling was trying to hold on to him, like, not to let him go, even though, like, that would kill Ling. And Greed was telling him to let go because he didn't want Ling to die.
Yes,
it's a very selfless thing.
I love that bond that the two of them made.
Oh, that was
with
incredible.
each other.
And so he lied to him, and that is the first lie that he told. He lied to him so that he would distract him and so that he would let him go. Yeah. And it was the only lie that he said. And that was so fucking beautiful. Yeah. And he managed to help us defeat the father at the end, because, like, he made his body, like, the opposite of
carbon or
something like that. He said, like, that he reversed his carbon body or whatever so that it would fall apart easily. Yeah. I mean, the father did kill him before he died, but, like, at those last moments, Greed was looking over at Ed and Ling and
saw that love and saw that care that he always craved for. And
that was such a beautiful visual, because, like, the second that he looks at them, like, you know what he's feeling, because, like, he wanted that. I think when we were watching, when I saw their faces, like, through my tears, I was like, you have it. Like, you have their love, you have their, like, you have their friendship, and, like, they're really looking at you sad that they're losing you. And he said, yeah, that's all I really need. Yeah. And so, like, thank you, friends. And then he died. Really and, like, what a way to go. Yeah. What a way to fucking go. Like, he helped our guys. And he died helping them, and he died so selflessly. Like, ridiculous.
Which is the opposite of greed.
Yeah.
In some way.
Can you believe that? Yeah. That was so fucking beautiful.
That might be why I think I would say he was my favorite scene out of all, just because he craved that friendship. I mean, he got it he was getting it through his life in his own way. He didn't know how, because he was a son. That's who he was. He didn't know any differently. Yeah. But I like that that's what he craved for. Yeah. And at the end,
he is the one who became most human. Yeah. Like, to me, he was human.
He was he was basically surrounded with humans
and very much affected by them.
Yeah, and he was never going with father and other sins.
Yeah, he said, I always had a rebellious streak, Pops. Yeah. Shouldn't be surprised now. So, like, he was the closest to human as you could possibly get. And that's how he died. And I think that is one of the most beautiful deaths.
I love that one of the sins is what got to father. Yeah. Because he made all of them the way they are, and they all suffered their entire lives because of that, because they were just sins. And yet one of them got him.
That felt appropriate.
Yeah, I agree.
That felt like an appropriate revenge. Like father's own doing, is what's getting him killed. And so, like, when Greed died, but he made father's body very fragile, and then Ed could come. And then Ed was able to punch through his body. Yeah. And that's how we killed father. I mean, basically, all the souls started exiting his body, and he went to the portal, he went to truth, where he was, while going to the truth and everything, he was really kind of desperate, because, like, he didn't understand. Like, he kept saying, all I wanted was to have all the knowledge. Is that, like, so bad? All I wanted was this.
To be free, to find out everything.
To be free, yes, but he was like in a sense wanting to play God. I mean, he wanted to consume God to become an even greater being than God. And so in front of the truth told him that like there's punishments that are reserved for the boastful and people who play God. And then he remembered what he said to, I think he was saying it to Pride, that humans who play God will pay a steep price for their arrogance. And still, yet at the end, he didn't really understand, because he craved to become human so much, but he craved to become even more than that. And he didn't understand what the purpose was. And so like he died, disappeared, went into whatever he was without really figuring it out. And the truth told him, like, you must have seen the truth. Like, you must have seen it because you were surrounded. You were there in front of all those people. And you still didn't get it. And, you know, you never will get it now. And so the father died. And that was it. And it was just like he returned to nothingness. And someone pointed out, I didn't see that, but like in the comments when we posted that episode, because we posted it. No, on one of the comments, because we said we watched it, so like people just commented for the future episodes, but something along the lines of like, your gate, like you saw behind Ed, like there's all these things written because that's all he learned in life, and Father's Gate was completely blank because he learned nothing. In his however many fucking years of existence, he has learned nothing. And I thought that was good. Really good. I thought it was really poetic. Yeah. And so when we went back, after that we go to like my favorite scene in the world. I'm literally gonna cry again. But it was Ed. I mean, everyone's standing next to Al, who has not woken up, and Ned trying to figure out how in the world he could get him back. Yeah. And like all the people, everyone who could do something would have done something to try to help. First, like Kling appeared with a Philosopher's Stone, being like, you know, I have it, we can bring him back. And I remember when I was editing, both of us laughed at that part, because like, here it comes again, the fucking Philosopher's Stone that they don't want to use so much, that they keep refusing to use. And again, it comes here to, I don't know how many times they need to go through that, like, temptation, let's say. Like, you have what you need, like, it's right in front of you, and you still refuse to use it because you're just, like, the best people that have ever existed. And you will not, like, you made a promise that you will never use that. And he no matter how much he wants to get Al back, he is gonna figure out another way, because he is not using a Philosopher's Stone that is made.
And even if he doesn't, and even if he's not able to figure out the other way, he's still not gonna use it.
Yeah. Like, they made a promise, and like, he knows that Al would rather
die than
be brought back
by somebody who died.
Yeah. And so like there was no question in his mind, or anyone's mind who watches that, like when he showed him the Philosopher's Stone, there was not a single fucking person there that thinks that he would have taken it. And then Hohenheim came and said, like, you know, use me as a toil to get
that's another Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, and like that is what we've talked about for so long, that like that's how they get their bodies back, by like something that Hohenheim does.
Yeah,
but when it came down to like the way that the scene was presented, with Ed trying to figure out a way, and like Hohenheim coming to offer himself, there was no fucking way in this world.
I mean, to him, like when we talked about that, I'd never imagined Ed accepting something like that, nor do I think he ever would. I mean, to him, he even said it in this episode, there is no difference. Like, I'm not gonna use anybody's life to save my brothers, no matter who it is. If it's a good person, if it's a bad person, if it's you, if it's somebody else, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I always thought like Hohenheim would do something like to repay for what he's done. He has done that. He has tried to do that.
Yeah.
Which would make sense, that he would want to save his sons.
Of course.
As his last, let's say, thing to do. But I love the way that it was actually done much more. Yeah. Honestly.
Again, I love that, as always at the end, there was Ed and Al, just as always saving each other, doing whatever they can to save the other one. And Ned told him that like, why should you pay for our mistakes? And like, it always breaks my heart when he calls that like a mistake, like, or for our sins or whatever. Like, it always breaks my heart because like they were so young, and like I never want them to blame themselves for the things that they have done, but they were just so desperate, and so that always hurts me a bit. And so he told him, "Shut up, you rotten father." And of course that is the first time Ed calls him father, and he has to preface it by saying rotten. Like, what else did we expect from there? That was completely Ed, but like still, he at that point, no matter how much he doesn't want to use the Philosopher's Stone, he also doesn't want to kill his father for any reason, and so he kept trying to figure out what he can do. And I love that the way that he figured out what to do is by looking at all the people around him. Like, first he looked at Roy and Hawkeye. That gave him strength to keep thinking of what he can do, like to get out. Like, there has to be something. Like, that gave him strength to just like keep thinking. And then he looked at his hands, and the second that he looked at his hands, there's no doubt in my mind that he is thinking about the alchemy, that he's gonna give the alchemy, because like what else is there to give if not your whole life, because like you have to take out a whole person from that portal. And then he looks at all the people that are standing there, that care about them, that have helped them so much, and basically realizes that he can give up his alchemy because he has those people around him.
He tells us the truth.
Yeah,
later.
Afterwards, yeah. And like when he stands up, like with a smile on his face, I can't speak about that scene. But just to be like, no, this is my final transmutation circle or whatever, enjoy the show. Like, that made me so emotional. And every time I think about that second, like, what a fucking boy. Just with no hesitation whatsoever. Like, and with just a smile on his face. And he enters the portal of truth to give his alchemy for his brother.
And that's the thing I love the most, honestly. What's the point of that whole thing is, and him realizing that all you need around you are people.
Yeah.
And family and friendship and stuff like that. And to me, that is the point of this show, and I just think it's so fucking beautiful.
Yeah, he said, like, the truth asked him something along the lines of, are you sure that you can live without it or like function without it? And like, he said how his entire life he was sort of arrogant and thinking that alchemy can solve every issue that he has, and that he wasn't even able to save a girl. And that girl was like in episode fucking 4. Like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. Like, 60 episodes after, we're still affected by that. Like, what a fucking show. Come on. Constantly. That's when he realizes that's not when he realizes, but like, it is not hard for him to give up his alchemy, because like he just has those people around him, and he said, like, who needs alchemy? And I have them. And I love also when he said the truth, because they told him, are you just okay with being a mere mortal? He was like, what do you mean? What do you mean, like, stoop down to being a mere mortal? Like, that's just who I've always been. Like, I never viewed myself as a god. I never viewed myself and as anything like that, which is, also the point that the father missed completely, that he never learned, like, about what's really important in life.
And what who humans are.
Yeah. And so, like, when that's said, like, who needs alchemy? I have them. And then the truth was like, you got it. What a most beautiful thing for the show to want to tell you what the purpose was.
Yeah,
I think it's not like just beautiful. Yeah, like it's not like everyone who watches the show like knows, because like they emphasize it all the time about how much it is about people and love and friendship. But just like it's always very beautiful when they speak it, and that was the most incredible scene. Every time I think about fucking Ed, like, standing up to do that transmutation circle, I, like, literally always get emotional. Yeah, it was the most perfect thing I could have imagined. For us to get Al's body back, and then he did. He went to get Al. And Al looked so, like, fragile. And, like, so unnourished. And, like, it was very hard to watch him like that. But he had, like, a smile on his face. And there was no doubt in his mind, like, there comes Ed. Of course there comes Ed. Like, he's not surprised. He's like, of course he's here, because he has full faith in his brother. And then they exited together. Like, what can I tell you? What the fuck can I tell you about all of that?
Yeah, that
It
was
is the most beautiful moment. It is literally the most beautiful moment.
And I am so happy that's not how we ended up the show.
No.
I'm
No.
so happy we had more scenes afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, like, you know, he sees Hohenheim. And that's kind of our kids' last scene with Hohenheim.
Yeah, it is.
And, you know, calls him dad, and then they hold hands, and it's like the same hands that were like in the previous outro. After that, we had the other most emotional part of the episode, which was Hohenheim, who went to Trisha's grave, and he said, like, I'm home. Like, he knew he was gonna die because he was connected to the father, you know, and they were alive for such a long time, and so, like, he knew that the end was coming, and so he wanted to spend his last moments there. And that was, like, a really emotional scene, because, like, he thanked her because of her and her kids. He lived a fulfilling life, and that was enough. Like, no matter how much, like, when he lived that life, like, he always felt like he was a monster, and so, like, maybe he couldn't live as happily.
He lived always hearing voices of the people who died and are not right now inside of him.
Yeah.
And he always blamed himself for something like that. And so, like, how could somebody live anything normal?
Yeah.
Living like that. But at the end, all he wanted was to have an ordinary life, like to have family, to have kids and stuff like that. And now he realized that at the end he had it.
Yeah.
He was able to have
like
it.
For however long he did, like,
yeah.
he lived a fulfilling life with Trisha and the kids.
And I loved at the end when he said how, let's say, ironic or something like that is that now he wants to continue living. Yeah. Because now he wants to be with his boys.
Yeah, there's also, like, his story is very tragic when you think about it, like, all around.
When you think about it.
Like, it's all around just, like, very fucking sad.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
It's honestly one of the most tragic stories.
Yeah, because, like, it's really...
It's not the most tragic one.
It couldn't have been helped. Yeah. Like, that was unfortunately since the second that the father did what he did, and he got stuck with so many fucking souls inside him. Yeah. Like, that's just hell.
Like, that's a living hell. A nightmare, like, his entire life.
Yeah, man, like, he had that moment with Trisha and the boys, and that was like a happy place. And so, like, now that he is dying, he is thinking, like, how he wants to live, because he has the kid now, and yet now he's dying. So, like, it's really, you know, it's really ironic and very sad. Yeah. But he dies with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
I find it ironic, like, also Bradley died with a smile on his face. What the fuck is that? And he died with a smile on his face, and he was found by Pinocchio. And that was the end of the episode. And, like, the outro of the episode was also very beautiful, because, like, it kept showing
his life.
Yeah, and the scenes with the kids, and again the picture where he's holding Ed. And he's not smiling, which we'll get back to when we talk about the last episode, because, like, I can't even talk about that part. But it was really such a beautiful way to say goodbye to Hohenheim. Like, again, like, what I expect from the show, like, even the deaths that they give you that end up hurting you are the most beautiful. Yeah. Are the most beautiful fucking things that you'll see.
In some way, the most uncruel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ways that they could kill
Honestly,
every single character.
The most fucking kind.
The most kind, yeah.
Yeah. So that was perfect. Yeah. Episode 63 was perfect. And then episode 64 was also perfect. So, like, just to go with the rest of the show. The absolute fucking perfection. Episode 64 started off with Roy.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I really was not sure if he was gonna get his sight back or not. Or if he was just gonna be, you know, functioning like that through life.
I mean, which would be fine.
Yeah, of course. Like,
I just didn't want him to get punished with all the dreams and everything he did and wanted to do to try to get better, to be better, to help people, to save this country.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't want his story to end that way.
Yeah. It just seemed like not a thing that the show would do.
That's the thing, like,
because the show doesn't punish you. Like, that really doesn't punish you. Like, if you try to be better, like, even if you have done so many bad things and, you know, they have done so many awful fucking things that
And they're
maybe
not
are never
live with
forgivable.
that.
Yeah. But like the show doesn't punish them because they try to be better. Like they try to do good. And Roy was there in the hospital bed, like he didn't have his eyesight, and he is learning about the Ishvalans
Yeah.
and their culture and their traditions and everything, because he wants
To
to make amends,
Yeah, amends.
and he wants to return them their holy lands, because like right now all the Ishvalans are basically living in slums, and their lands were taken away from them. And like what a great way to continue living even after doing so many awful things that are kind of unforgivable. But like
I would say that after some that this is the best thing that both of them, all of them actually, could possibly do.
Yeah.
Like try to make amends. Like no, you can never take those lives back.
No.
But you can help save the ones that live now.
Yeah.
You know?
And you can make sure that this never happens again.
Exactly. And I think that's
And
the
that's what
most
they're
you can
doing.
do.
Yeah.
And I think...
I mean, that's what even Hawkeye said. Like,
Yeah.
I know that we can never atone for what we did, but we can try to make things right.
It's never too late. And I
No.
love that. I really did love that.
Yeah, and I think it leaves such a...
Beautiful message.
Yeah, such like a positive end. Like, it's a very,
Like-
let's say, open end. Like, there's still so many things to do, and you know, and like, it's
Yeah.
kind of an open ending, and you don't know what's gonna happen. Because, like, Hawkeye did say, like, when they restore the nation and everything and mend their wrongs, like, they want to stand trial, you know? And so, like, you don't know exactly what's even gonna happen there. But, like, they're just trying to do things better, and it's an open ending, and it is the most beautiful and hopeful one.
Like Dr. Knox said,
Aw.
this reeks optimism.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that Dr. Knox, again, like, you didn't need to have Knox show up, you know, because like Knox is not that big of a character. You haven't even seen him for the past God knows how many episodes. And then we had Dr. Marco show up with a Philosopher's Stone to try to, all of them are trying to amend their wrongs, and the way that he wants to help is by helping Roy be able to help the Ishvalan people as well. I love that he said, like, I know there's someone who
Yeah.
would oppose to this, and I was like, boy,
But
if he was
I
in this
accept
room
it.
with you,
But I accept
if
it.
he was in this room with you, he would have words to say. But I mean, I
that's a
love
similar-
that difference between them.
But no, I also, that's the similar to me what Al did. I mean, he gave those people, Ishvalan people, also purpose, because Roy wants to do better and wants to make amends, and that's why Marco is giving it to them, to Roy. He said, like, if you really want to help Ishvalans,
I mean, he said, like, I won't speak for the people that I hurt, but...
Yeah. But like, if you really want to help them, then I think you should have it, because with this you are gonna be able to do everything that you
And
want.
so, like, you kind of use those souls that have died for a purpose to save their own.
So it's not just like his life or his eyes or something
Yeah.
like that, in that
Yeah.
way.
And of course, Boy said, yeah, great, I'm in. But first, go to Jean.
Yeah.
Go help Jean. I can't
Because
even...
there is somebody
again,
who needs it more than me.
Again, did you need to do that? You didn't. But, like, it was just so beautiful that, like, even Jean got his, like, happy ending. I mean, Jean was actually doing really well, and I'm really happy for him, because, like, even though he has lost the ability, you know, to walk and everything, he found a purpose in life.
I mean, I love that. I mean, they did in the beginning showed how he wasn't
He was
able
really
to
struggling,
find
yeah,
the
of
purpose,
course.
and but at the end they showed you that it is possible
Yeah.
after surviving something like that,
Yeah.
to live a happy and fulfilling life.
Yeah.
And I
Just
think
like
that
a different
was,
life.
Yeah, different,
But
but like
no less good.
yeah, and I think that is beautiful as well. And I am happy they put Jean in this episode as well.
Yeah. We then had Scar and Miles. Miles, who was appointed by Roy to go through the country, and he wanted Scar to go with him to spread the message of Ishval. Scar at that point was like wondering, is that why I'm still alive? Like, is this the purpose that I'm gonna fulfill? And again, I can't imagine a better purpose for him, and I'm so grateful that he is alive.
Yeah, that he didn't die.
Again, that's the whole, like, at some point when you see his story and everything he's went through, it seems almost cruel to kill him, and the show has never been cruel, and so, like, of course they give him a second chance.
And I love that he said, like, when General Armstrong asked him what's his name.
Yeah.
And I love that he said that both of the people he once was died.
Yeah.
Like, that he isn't Scar anymore, that he isn't that person driven by a rage and revenge.
Yeah, that he's someone else now.
That he's someone else now, and I am so happy about it.
And that, like, he doesn't need necessarily a name.
That his story couldn't have ended more perfectly for me, honestly.
Oh, his story is one of my favorites of the show. Honestly, like, who would have fucking thought when we saw him in the first 5 episodes as a maniac who wanted to go and kill everyone for revenge. And there was a point where Ed said, and I always loved when Ed said that to people, because, like, I think Roy said, like, he is kind of justified in seeking revenge because of the things that happened for him. And, like, Ed was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He didn't say that, but he is killing innocent people, and you call that justifiable. And of course I agree with that, and I will always agree there with that, but, like, his storyline was just so complex.
No, I think from the second we found out a bit about Scar and about Ishvalan's, I always had complete sympathy with him. Do I think he was right by killing innocent people? Of course not. But I could completely understand why he wasn't able to stop.
I mean, of course.
And I think that made perfect sense, and I think that made him a great character. And I just didn't maybe know this show very well to hope for this type of ending. I was like, I always thought or hoped for a redemption arc for him. I just never thought that he's gonna get this hopeful ending.
Yeah.
That he's gonna get out of that mindset completely, that he wants to do so much better, Yeah. I thought that he was gonna die for his sins, and I'm so grateful that he never did.
Me too, because, like, I thought at some point in time, I was like, is it gonna be that, like, he's too far gone? Like, so many, like, such a tragedy happened to him, that, like, maybe he can never get out of it. And it wasn't that. Like, the show gave him the most hopeful ending, and again, it gave it in such a way that is very truthful to the show. Scar was saved because he was so influenced by people around him, like, especially Miles and Winry, who could have gone the road that he has gone down and didn't. They chose something completely different. And from that point on, Scar really started becoming different, and started changing and started seeing the world in a different way, that it wasn't just rage. And that's what humans just do to you. And, like, what an incredible, exceptional storyline, that at the end he's not using just his destruction hand, but also to reconstruct. A perfect story from start to fucking finish with Scar's character. An even better purpose now in the future that he's gonna do, to spread the Ishvalan teachings through the country along with Miles. I can't imagine anything better.
I completely agree.
We saw, I think, at the end also, we saw pictures of the two of them, like, going through town. And I think General Armstrong called him Ishvalan. He said, like, I don't have a name, which was like Ishvalan. That's who he is. Again, fucking stunning.
One of my favorite storylines in the show.
Easily. Fucking easily.
Like, he might not be my favorite character, or, like, in the top.
Which is ridiculous to say.
Exactly.
But, like, there's just so many fucking characters.
His storyline is one of my favorite ones. Like, top 3 my favorite character storylines in this show.
Yeah, I agree. And then we saw Ed and Al going home. And that's also fucking gonna be rough. But they are going home, and they, of course, go to Winry because that's home. And, Winry hears them, and they're playing with the dog, and, like, she's so slowly going out, and she passes their pictures when they were young, just to hurt you more, because like they are family and they've known each other for so long, and she loves them the most in this world. And like she, next to them, she is the person that is the happiest for them, that they have their bodies back. And like Ed promised that they're gonna have their bodies back. I mean, Ed's leg, you know, still metal, but who cares? Like, it's fine. And so like when she's going there so slowly, that was also ridiculously emotional. And of course she opens the door and just runs to them. And so like, you know, it's very emotional when she doesn't hit them first. You know, it's very immediately. There was a point where I thought like she's gonna fucking just like throw something at them.
But of course it's the last scene, and it's
so she doesn't.
Al finally in his body bag, and they're both coming home, and of course she's just gonna run away, run to them and hug them.
And she's just thankful that they're there. Like, ridiculous, come on. Like, what do I do with the three of them? They're my, like, heart and soul.
Yeah.
We also had May, my sweetest, smallest child, May, who was sitting there crying because she didn't get the Philosopher's Stone that she needed for her family. My child, she is crying there after the end. Here comes Ling, showing her the Philosopher's Stone. I win.
I think first
he was
showing it in her face that he's the one who got the Philosopher's Stone, and he said,
"So I win.
My clan wins." And I'm like, "You bitch! Look how small she is.
How can you even for a second make her cry?
Exactly.
Like, how
I
dare
would not
you?
be able to do that for like a second.
Like, she's sitting there crying, and she was instrumental to us doing this. She was instrumental in saving the fucking world. And she didn't get the Philosopher's Stone, but Ling got the Philosopher's Stone. And Ling is gonna be the emperor.
And he said, and your clan is safe with me. I'm gonna take care of it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna take care of all the other families.
Yeah, and he's like, if I accepted greed in my
as my friend, I can accept all of you. And just like exactly what we always thought was gonna happen with her. Like, there was never a doubt in my mind, but she was the most fucking precious being. Like, no matter how much she wanted to save her clan, she always did what was right. Like, she never abandoned them. She never wanted to take. She was struggling so much with the Philosopher's Stone because it was made of humans. Like, she was the most kindest, most, like, what a fucking joy that child was. And so like it makes me so happy that she, again, like everyone else, gets absolutely what she deserves, which is the utmost happiness that one person can possibly have. And she was still crying. That's so greedy of you to want to like help us all and have us all as friends. And then he was like, oh yeah, he really rubbed off on me. Greed lives on. That was so nice. I think that was so nice for like to remind us of Greed as well, and how like instrumental he was in Ling's development as well. And that was really beautiful. Yeah. Then we went into a screen. The screen said 2, and then there was a Japanese word, and they didn't translate that. I'm gonna assume it's 2 years.
I don't know what we
or
assumed.
2 months.
They look much older in my mind.
Yeah.
I would say that it's been 2 years. Yeah. Definitely. At least it looked like that.
I feel like that's how long it would take for Al to like, you know, he was in a really rough space. Like, it's been 2 years, and Ed is on the roof fixing something for Winry or whatever. And he was like, let me try. Oh well. Gave it a shot. Yeah. My sweet fucking child. Ed and Al. Oh.
But before, when they were coming back, they talked about Winry and they talked about
oh my god. Or like boys. Like, ridiculous. It was like, do you want to be a certain prince?
that was funny. The thing is, May looks this big.
You know, it's like she's like maybe 3 years younger.
Yeah, I know she's like 10 or 11 or something like that, and he was like, let's say 14.
13 something.
14, I think.
The difference is not that big at all, but like when you're so small, like every year
enormous.
You grow a lot.
Yes, but like, honestly, I feel like I knew maybe that something like that would happen at the end. If we're gonna get a skip or something like that would happen that immediately once she started liking Al. I don't know why, because like no way of liking, no reason liking Ed. He's already married, you know.
When you're his wife, I don't know what you're trying here, girl. Nothing's gonna work.
Yeah, but I always thought maybe they would put put something like that for Al as well.
They, my god, they make the most kindest couple that would have ever existed. Like,
I mean, we saw them in the picture after that, when she's older and stuff like that. That looks very cute, in my opinion.
Yeah, so our boys have crushes. And they, in the future, have girlfriends and wives and whatever.
And wives and children.
Ridiculous. I can't even speak about that. But yeah, then we had we didn't even know that, but it was like the last scene between Ed and Al.
Yeah.
They're on the roof looking towards like mountains and hills and like at their future, and they both like know what each other is thinking about what they're gonna do now and their plans.
Ed said, I've been thinking.
Al said, I've been thinking, and that maybe, was like, me too, and I think we've been thinking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, of course they are. And then we cut to Al, who is visiting Mrs. Hughes and her daughter. And he is, again, we are reminded of the people that we have lost, who have made a very big impact on our characters. Al is telling her that, like, all of them have shown them so much kindness. And, like, we know Hughes from the beginning, like, was the first one that, like, really took them in and treated them as family. And they have been so affected by that, so that they are trying now to give back to other people. And Al is gonna go to Shing and then east, while Ed is gonna go to west, so that they can... Mrs. Hughes asked, like, is that like kind of equivalent exchange? Like, people have given you this, or like you're giving back this? And Al said something like, not really, like, we were giving this, so like we want to give even more of us, so that like that makes an even bigger difference. And that's what they're trying to implement, which is so like ridiculous. How are they the best things that have ever existed? I don't know. But like, of course they're just like trying to do the best they can and repay even more, because people were so good to them, and that made the world of a difference. Again, he mentioned the girl from episode 4,
Milena,
who still haunts us, because like he said, like we want to maybe in the future we couldn't help her, but we want to be able to help if there is any way. So like they want to learn all those things, but it's not just about learning. They want to also see the world, because it's a big world.
That's what I love the most.
And they want to explore.
What he said, it's not just about. Of course it is. He said, I wanted to meet other cultures, to meet new people, to find out and learn the most I possibly can. But it's not just about that. This world is so big, and I want to see it all. And I just love that. I think that's also a beautiful message as well.
With the 2 chimeras.
Who wants to find their bodies? I can't.
That was also so
cute.
That just like they're like, you taught us to not stop, not give up hope ever, so we're not gonna give hope. Yeah. And if we stick with you, good things have to be happening. And of course they do. Of course they fucking do.
Yeah.
And so he is going towards east.
Yeah.
And going to May to teach him alchemy.
Yeah. I mean, history repeats itself in a very different way, of course.
This is a much more positive going
much more
east and west.
And much more healthy,
you
know.
So much better.
So much better.
Loved it.
But like, yes, 2 brothers in some way separate, and one goes east, the other goes west.
That was stunning.
And then he said, and then we're gonna find each other again, and then we're gonna combine our knowledge and everything we learned together. And I also think that's beautiful.
My boys.
I just loved everything this show told us, tried to teach us, if we didn't know before. I just loved every message that this show presented. Yeah. I just think everything was beautifully written.
I mean, again, it's very rare to have a show that is like so much about kindness and like, yeah, and like it always sticks to me. In that one episode, or whichever one it was, when they told Ed like how dumb it is for him to try to keep his hands clean or whatever, and that he's gonna pay a price for it. And it's not like he is naive.
Yeah.
He's just willing to pay that price. Like he's not gonna keep his hands clean. He said something along the lines, well, this is the price I have to pay, I'm gonna pay it. And I don't care that I'm gonna pay it. That is who they have always been. And that's not like who everyone is around them. Like other people have other beliefs and values, but they just hold very strong to their own because of what they have gone through. And that is the reason why I love them so much. And like even more than that, I respect them so much. And I think that they are very rare characters and rare fucking humans. Then we had our last scene. Yeah, which is a scene between Winry and Ned, who is like taking him to the train station because he is going west, away from her. It's fine. We'll get back to each other.
I mean, the whole scene was just Ed and Winry.
Oh my god, they're ridiculous.
Like, they are ridiculous. They are
Like,
embarrassing. I can't. I would be cringing so much if I was them. Be so embarrassed for myself.
Like, Ed is dying saying any of those words. Like, he is trying. That boy has faced the greatest evil on this planet without blinking. Here he is in front of a girl. Boy can't do anything. Like, he is like it's been so fucking long since he liked Winry, and he cannot face it.
His entire life.
Ridiculous. And so he's standing there and basically like confessing finally when he can run away. Just like, if I say I can still get on the train, you know, and so like I'm gone, however this goes. And then he says the most ridiculous thing, and yet somehow the most romantic thing, like equivalent exchange. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I give you half my life, and you give half your life to me. A proposal, people. That was a fucking proposal, okay? And Winry was like, oh god. Like, why am I in love with an idiot? I think that's what she was thinking.
Because she's an idiot as well.
Yeah, like, just you combine, girl. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry.
And, if you weren't like that,
can you just like stop looking at everything through equivalent and exchange and alchemy? Like, how about I just give you my whole life? Embarrassing, girl. Oh my god.
That was so embarrassing.
My
honestly.
girl.
I would want to go to the down.
Like, literally, they are the most ridiculous things that have ever existed. And that was, again, somehow the most romantic thing that you can say to anyone. It was so ridiculous. And then, you know, he was just like, no, wait, not my whole, but like 85% is fine. I give you 85. That's like a good number.
And then he laughed.
Yeah, and then he hugged her.
That scene was perfect. I would have put a kiss there, but fine, that's just me. That's just me. I'm fine with hug, you know?
I mean, I cannot possibly ask for anything more. Like,
I mean, I'm greedy. What can I tell you? I will always ask for more, you know?
We didn't even get a kiss or nothing between technically Kaka and
technically,
Roy.
I did not expect that. I expected with Winry
well,
and
they are, you know, still, you know, a subordinate, and he's like over her, like, position-wise. Does that sound bad? Like, he is in charge, whatever. But like, when they figure shit out, okay? When they figure everything out, when things are calmed down, they're like together happily ever after. I know that. There's not a question in my mind, you know,
considering we had seen a picture at the end.
Yeah. And with the other, they're next to each other, and Roy has a mustache. So, like, if she still loves you, then, you know, you're good. I'm kidding, he looked cute. So, I love that ending scene, and Ed telling her, you just knocked equivalent exchange on his ass. Because, like, she is the most amazing person, and she is. And then he left. And then we had that final moment, that final monologue from Ed.
Yeah.
Who was saying how, like, in life you go through hardships and that they make you kind of who you are, and they can make you strong, and if you get out on the other side, and which is again the whole point of the show. Every single character there has gone through struggles, and they have come out on the other side of it as better people. And he said, like, then if you can endure that pain, then you can have a heart made full metal.
Yeah.
Like, ending it on the title of the show.
That's so cute. Honestly.
Full metal. And then they went to pictures, which is like pictures from the future. And I was very emotional because I really wasn't expecting to see, like, when I was seeing the kids, I was like, oh, that's Ed, that's Winry. Like baby Ed and baby Winry, but like where's baby Al? I don't know where's baby Al. And then like it started panning out and I'm like, who the fuck is holding you? And like Winry and Ed are holding them, and here's in the back, there's Al in the back. There's also May in the back. And like it hit me like a ton of bricks because it's the same picture that was taken with Hohenheim.
Just Ed is
except Ed is smiling. He's not crying because what is there to cry for? Only happiness. There's only fucking happiness to cry from. And like that is the last image they. I mean, not like actually they like then they go to the image of Ed traveling with his suitcase, and that is the last image to leave you on.
Yeah.
And that's how the show concludes.
And
what a fucking
beautiful.
love letter. I mean, this whole show actually has been a love letter. Like it's not just this last episode. No, this whole fucking show is full of scenes that are just gonna stay with me. That are like there are so many scenes that have been so impactful to me that are gonna just like I'm gonna randomly think of them throughout life. They were just like such a poignant. Is that even a word? I don't know what word I'm trying to use. You know what I'm trying to use. But like just a poignant message in the most kindness and loving way that like I don't see how the woman wrote the way that she did right. I really don't know, but she gave us perfection.
Yes.
She gave us absolute perfection and love and kindness. And thank you.
I will gladly
thank you so much.
And often come back to this show.
Literally could always. And I feel like every time I can get something more out of it.
I mean, it's always like that on any rewatch of any show in my mind, but especially this one.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see them again as kids, as this big.
I think that's gonna shock me, honestly, because like when we had like
I feel like that's gonna make me
emotionally
immediately.
OVA that was like 40 episodes back or whatever. They were so young, and that was like shocked me because like what the fuck when did that happen? Because like when it's episode by episode, like it's so progressive that you don't really know it when you notice it, but like it doesn't seem as shocking as it does when you like see episode 1 and they seem like this. I'm like, who fucking gave you the right to be a state alchemist? Like what fucking state gave you the right? Like this type of person, like you barely see him walking through the doors. My fucking sweet child.
And him being constantly angry because everybody's mocking his height and everybody thinks that Al is Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah. And like at the end he even acknowledged that he's short. Like that's even how far he came. He said like, yes, I'm short and that's why I know what a fucking runt is gonna do. I'm short. What a progression. That is honestly the biggest progression. That is honestly the biggest fucking progression that we have had. That boy admitting he's short. Can you believe, people?
That's so cute.
Yeah, I love the show. I will love it forever.
With my whole heart.
And I love these characters. Yeah. I'm literally fucking tattooed on my forehead.
Please
just
don't.
Like tattoo,
please do not
tattoo.
Do it here.
Ed and Al, like right here. And Winry. Just like on the faces. Like truly, oh my god. I'll be proud walking around.
I would not know you.
How dare you? I don't know.
Faces where I draw the limit. Like even your neck is fine, you know.
Okay, Ed, Al, Winry. You said my face is all. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. This was just perfection.
And honestly, really, really loved the community that this show has, just because everybody just appreciates the show.
Because like, how can this show not have the best community in the world? I mean, like, how can it not?
People who watch this show have to be best people. You know?
Legitimately, like, you cannot be a cynical person
and love this show. There is no possibility.
Like, you can't be. There's no way. Like, if you watched the show and you loved it enough to watch it with us, like all the comments were only like appreciation. Like no one ever fought, no one ever disagreed,
and I think that was
everyone just always appreciated this show, and that's what it was always about. And I always loved reading comments.
I think that's usually half of the experience, honestly.
I mean, we always say this, and it really is.
When you're watching some show while reacting to it, I mean, you also read the comments and connect with them. Yeah. These ones were great.
Yeah. They were always so full of information.
And nice and positive.
It was just...
And it was just love.
It was just a joy.
Yeah.
It was just a joy to watch with everyone else. For us to experience this the first time. So thank you for watching it with us.
Thank you for watching it with us. Thank you for going on this journey with us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's the end.
It's the end.
Will you ever see us this happy? I don't know.
I don't know.
I doubt it somehow. I don't know. I feel like,
I
we get few of the shows that make us happy because usually people want to make us fucking die.
Yeah.
But like when we get these shows, oh my god, it's always worth it so much.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.
When? What do you mean soon? When will we see them? That's it, people. We will never see you again.
Oh my god, people are gonna watch maybe other shows.
Like for this is it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.